Hi guys, I'm Marticore, and this is me changing the 210 Wright way into an apartment building, as I mentioned in one of my recent videos. As you can see, the primary look of the building wasn't what it looks like when you first load Pleasantview, because there was a family living in it for a long time and it was changed for their needs. Like, the top floor was just one big room full of instruments and music stuff. So I brought back the octagon tower because I think it's just iconic for this house. Honestly, I am not even sure if all the walls were there originally, but I just feel like it has to be there. The tower isn't attached to any of the apartments, it's common area, being either a dining hall, a tiny library, or a gym, depending on floor. I guess it could have been a staircase with spiral stairs, that could work, but I like the idea of these tiny, well-lit rooms that all neighbors can use. It's just so cozy. I also put in an elevator in the building, right next to the tower. I do think this house is perfect to be divided into apartments, but that doesn't mean I didn't struggle with the division, placing walls and planning out the apartments. I also wanted to keep the original colors of the house, so every apartment has the same floors and paints, but if the residents decide to do something else, it's fine. This is just the raw look of the apartments. So, if you want to build an apartment from scratch in The Sims 2 or modify an existing house into an apartment building, all you need is a cheat and following some requirements. After you've built the entire thing, type in change lot zoning apartment base to turn it into an apartment building. The main requirement is that there can only be one entrance to the apartment, so if you make a garden, balcony, or a terrace, there can't be any opening to go outside. It has to be fully fenced. No back doors allowed either, because the game needs to know which area exactly is the apartment. Also, remember to use the special apartment door. I say apartment a lot in this video. Like, there is a specific door for the entrance to apartments, and use any other door between rooms inside the apartment to not confuse the game. You can build a garage if you're wondering, so you can make a row house with a garage attached to every unit, or like a compound, or like a house complex where every house is for rent, it's on a huge lot, and like every house is technically standalone, but they are all for rent and everyone has a garage. Garage door doesn't count as an entrance. It can get glitchy sometimes though, so if it's not working, try to make some changes until it works. Make sure that your Sims can go inside the room of the garage. And if it's not working, you will have to move them out, because it's not the best idea to try to change an apartment when someone is already living in it. So it's a hassle, but sometimes things just don't work and you have to fix them. How do you know an apartment building isn't working? If you go to the neighborhood view and it shows that the apartments cost 0 simoleons, from 0 to 0, no one can actually move in, and you get a notification that it's incomplete or something, you will know. Also, I heard the spiral stairs can be problematic sometimes. Of course, an apartment can still work with them, but have that in mind just in case. And no, the apartment building doesn't have to be at least 2 apartments. You can change a single house, a standalone house, into an apartment so that the house is for rent instead of for sale. And it will work perfectly. Just remember to not have any backdoor situation. I changed the Pleasantview condos, like Don Lothario's house, into apartment buildings. I just removed the back doors and they work perfectly. And I think it's a great idea, because they are very affordable that way, since I use the no 20k handouts mod, so that it's not like every sim that moves out from a family gets 20,000 simoleons to just buy a house. Changing smaller house into apartments is a really great method to have like affordable housing for sims who have like 2,000 simoleons on them. It is funny though with one apartment unit when the landlord throws the gathering on Saturdays and it's just this one family and no neighbors. But hey, free pizza. If you notice that something is wrong with the apartment building while Sims are already living in it, Like you forgot to place something in the common area or place the mailbox the wrong way so Sims can pay bills or something like that, there is another helpful cheat. Bullprop apt sub lot specific tools disabled false. A mouthful, I know. I will put it in the description so we can copy it. Or like a whole Sims wiki article, I'm not sure. With this cheat, you can move or delete objects outside of the rented space while Sims are living in the building. But remember to set it back to true after you're done, after you've done everything that you needed, because it can get buggy. It's not really the greatest cheat to use, so just use it as a last resort for special occurrences. And remember that you can just press the up arrow on your keyboard to go back to the last cheat you typed in. You don't have to type in the entire thing, just change false to true and you're good. I won't bore you with the process of furnishing every single apartment. That would take forever. So just as an example, I am showing you one of them, a kind of micro apartment that is probably going to be pretty cheap. Also, don't worry about me furnishing the entire apartments. I have the mod that allows you to rent a furnished apartment so nothing disappears. I think you can also do that with a cheat, but the mod just makes it more accessible and easier. So this is the finished product. As you can see, the prices start at $250, which is really cheap, but they can go up to almost 2,000 simoleons. The 250 is definitely this crappy thing that I made last minute. It just has like a fridge, a bed, a toilet, and a shower. Also, I placed tiles, just white tiles in some spaces because, like it made sense to not have like panels or wallpaper or something where there is a shower, right? So this is the only change to the walls or flooring that I did. Also, the walls and flooring are probably expensive, more expensive than they could be, and that probably makes the apartments a little bit more expensive, but I really wanted to keep the original look and I don't really mind. So this apartment is for someone who is just like close to homelessness, right? Who is pretty much broke and can only afford like a super cheap thing. This apartment is super micro, but at least it has a bathtub, so some luxury. This is also a very tiny one, but it has a double bed, so technically a married couple or just a couple can live in this. Most of the apartments are single bedrooms or even like really tiny condos with no separate bedroom area. But this one, it takes up the entire floor. All of this is one apartment, and this is a bigger one. This is one that has an extra bedroom with weird shape and weirdly furnished. But this is a nice place for a family with one child to live in. I will show you the exact prices of the apartments in a minute. So this is also a single bedroom apartment, but it's like the kitchen is separate and the bedroom is separate, so it's more exclusive, let's say. And this is also a pretty tiny apartment, and there are definitely some things that I forgot, like probably not every apartment has a phone, or there is an unpainted wall somewhere, yeah. But nothing I can't fix even when Sims are already living here. This is also a place where I put some tiles in the bathroom to not make the wallpaper wet and moldy. So I have the bin families here, so I can take like Chester Geek, whose name is Polish, of course, and the bio too, and I will just place him there to see the exact prices. Also, I want to point out that I'm not planning to share this building because I used a lot of custom content and recolors and stuff like that, so I don't want to just like put a bunch of stuff that is made by other people into your game and also like make your game full of stuff that maybe you don't want or something. And I'm sharing the process of making it and like the whole idea of making this an apartment building so that you can also maybe implement it in your own game. I just feel like this house is too big for just a single family. It's kind of like a townhouse, I guess, right? It's freaking huge. It's perfect for an apartment building. So you can make your own. Maybe make the apartments bigger. Maybe this is something that you don't need in your game. Maybe you don't need this freaking thing. I didn't want to limit myself to in-game objects only because this is for my private Pleasantview. It's for my own use. So this apartment is $250, definitely. Pretty cheap. This one is $542, which is also very, very affordable, $686. The biggest one is almost 2,000 simoleons. The exclusive single bedroom is, oh, okay, yeah, this has a lot of expensive furniture, so almost 1,600 makes sense. And this another tiny apartment is 762. There is also a pool that I made while the family was still living here because they wanted to swim often, and I just made them a pool. Here there was also like a car thing. There were like 2 platforms, and I also fenced it a little bit more than it was fenced. Actually, originally I think it wasn't fenced at all, but it makes sense for an apartment building to be at least a little bit fenced. So Sims can use a pool, Sims can also play chess here in the gazebo. Yeah, I think it's pretty nice. So that's it for this little video. I hope you like this idea. I am not much of a builder, but I actually really like to make apartments in this game, and I love that we can do that, especially compared to newer games. It requires a cheat, and it can get glitchy sometimes, but it's freaking amazing. I love it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Like the video, and see you in the next one. Bye.